Hey FlossTube, this is Brian. Welcome back. This is my 61st FlossTube video, and I plan on sharing with you what I have been stitching this week. First of all, I want to welcome you. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I hope that you enjoy the things that I have to share with you. If you are returning, thank you for coming back and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. It's been a great week, and I'm excited to show you what I have been able to accomplish this week. Family-wise, things are going good. We're in kind of a lull right now. We're getting ready to send I have 3 kids who are leaving to go to university, and so we're kind of getting ready for that, and that'll be at the end of the month. School started here last week, and it feels kind of strange because it's been a very long time since we haven't had any kids in school. So we're kind of out of the whole rhythm of getting kids ready to go to school in the morning. It actually feels kind of good to not have to worry about that. So yeah, but like I say, we'll have 3 kids going to university at the end of the month, and then things are going to get really quiet around here. Work-wise, things are going great also. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to respond to a comment that was left since my last video, and that was a comment by Melissa Johnson, and she asked me about this picture here. I'll move my head out of the way so you can see it a little bit better. She asked me if that was cross-stitched, and it's not cross-stitched. It was painted by my grandmother, and my grandmother had 3 goals when she got married. She wanted to learn how to drive, she wanted to learn how to play piano, and she wanted to learn how to paint. And my grandfather taught her how to drive soon after they got married, when my mom was very little. And they lived in Salt Lake, and if you know anything about Salt Lake, you know that there are a lot of hills in Salt Lake, and they had a car with a manual transmission. And there is a part of Salt Lake that is extremely hilly. It's called the Avenues. It's kind of north of downtown Salt Lake, and it's built right into the side of the hill. And it is, you basically, when you go up in there, up the avenues, you climb up in between the streets that cross the avenues, and it's very hilly. And my mom remembers Grandpa taking Grandma to the avenues to teach her how to start and stop on a hill with a clutch, and evidently it was kind of quite an experience. After her kids all got married and left, my grandma had a whole bunch of free time, and so she started taking piano lessons, and she took painting lessons as well. And she painted several different pictures. My mom has a couple of pictures that she painted. I think my aunt and uncle also have some. This was my favorite one of the ones that she painted, and it was in her. This is kind of what I inherited when she passed away. It hung in her living room until she passed away, and my mom and aunt and uncle sold the house. So this is it. It reminds me of my grandmother, like I say, and it's a very treasured painting. If you look at it closely, it's a picture of a road that goes back to some mountains, and then there's this tree over on the side. The mountains are very Utah mountains. If you look at them, they look very much like some of the mountains that are east of Salt Lake. And so they remind me of Utah, and it reminds me of my grandma. One other thing that I wanted to share with you is that I received another pattern in the mail from Fat Quarter Shop. This is by Lori Holt. This one is called Happy Camper. And My wife and my daughters really like this one. They think it's really cute. In fact, my daughter told me that she wanted to stitch this. So I think I'm going to let my daughter stitch this. They sent me two, so I have one that I can use as in a giveaway as well. So anyway, so that's really cute. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I have been working on. And I have been working on this week, I have been stitching a Saviour's Praise. That's this design. It is a design by Theresa Venette of Shakespeare's Peddler. And I have been working on it. I think this is my third week working on it. Third or fourth, maybe fourth. Anyway, I've been working on this week. So I'll show you a picture of what this looked like the last time you saw it. I have been stitching this on 40 count Beach Brew. That's a linen by R&R. And I have been using Theresa's called for threads, which are mostly anchor, and there are some colors that are weak dye works. And it has been really fun to work on. And I didn't think that I had really accomplished a whole lot until I took it out of my scroll bars and saw how much it looked like, how much I'd accomplished. So this is what it looks like now. So I've stitched a couple lines of the verse. So I finished the verse that says, "What works, what voices can we bring, which way our accents raise, to welcome thy mysterious King and sing a Saviour's praise." So I finished that. I stitched a little bit more of this border over here. I filled in the rest of the flowers over here. And I also filled in this part of the border over here. So this is right here. This is originally charted to be piety, and I replaced piety with virtue. And the reason why I'm doing that, I've mentioned it before, but there are some words that I am changing so that they are all words that are from a verse in the Doctrine and Covenants. And so they'll be more like Christ-like attributes, I guess, is what I would call them. So virtue over here, and instead of piety. And I really like how this turned out. I actually, rather than sit down and charting it, I just, when it came time to stitch it, I just put the word in, and I asked my wife how it looked, and she said it looked a little bit too straight. So, and I also asked on Instagram and got all sorts of suggestions as to what to do about it, and I really appreciated that. I really appreciated all the feedback. What I decided to do is I lowered the V. I lowered the V a couple stitches, and I raised the E a couple stitches, and that gave it more of a slant. As originally charted, there were one of these little red squares over here where the E is, and of course that wouldn't fit. That's how I made room for it, is I took out that square. And then I got looking at it, and it looked like there was a little bit too much empty space underneath virtue. It made it look like virtue was too high. And I kind of considered just moving everything down, but instead I decided I just stitched another little red square there. And that makes it so it to kind of fill up the empty area that wasn't there. I think kind of what happened is piety, the stem going down from piety kind of filled up that space. And since it was empty, it needed something. So yeah, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. I'll give you a little bit closer look so you can see all the way across to this side. Yeah, I like that heart too. This heart over here I stitched. And then I also stitched Emma Seabrook's work, Crowsborough. And so yeah, so yeah, I really like how this is turning out. I made a mistake in Crowsborough. There's one letter that there's an extra space in between one of the letters, and that pushed everything that way. And I thought about taking it out and restitching all of that, because I didn't find it until I was like up in here. And somebody on Instagram said, don't take it out, it fits with the wabi-sabi character of the piece, and I decided that was true. So I basically took the extra space out of here to make it so that everything lined up. So yeah, and I didn't realize, like, this W is charted a stitch higher than everything else. So I need to take that into account when I stitch this and make a mistake and decide whether or not the mistake needs to be fixed, or whether it fits in with the wabi-sabi style, I guess. So the next time I work on this, I'm going to work on, I guess, fill in the borders on either side. Up here is the house and the trees. And I'm kind of looking forward to getting started on that, because that feels like that's the heart of the sampler. So I'm kind of excited to do that. So I don't know if I'll work on the sides or if I'll just start working on the house. So yeah. One more look. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Really happy with what I've been able to accomplish, and look forward to working on this again sometime. Okay. I'm going to get out my Kindle. If you remember last time, I spun to see what project I was going to work on this last week. And I was happy with the choice that the wheel gave me, so we're going to see if this works again. I haven't opened this app for a week, so I hope, you know what? This wheel did not hold its state. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel. If it comes up a Saviour's Praise, I will spin it again. Okay? It looks like this app isn't going to remember its state from week to week. So let's see what happens. So I'm going to spin it. And it gave me beautiful sea. Okay, so if you watched, and that may be a surprise to some of you, if you watched, I put out 2 videos last week. One was a video as part of a collaboration that was organized by Cheryl McKinney of Tranquil Stitches, and we did a collaboration talking about different fibers. And in that video, I said that I had decided that I was going to work on this again. This is a design by Erik Shipley of Ship's Manor, and I worked on this. It's been like 2 or 3 years since I stitched it. This is what it looks like right now. It is stitched with Erik's fibers, with Erik's Floss, and basically it's a Quaker sampler with nautical motifs. So like there's a lighthouse and a ship and there's a seahorse, I think. Different nautical motifs. And I stopped working on this because I didn't like how this floss looked on this color of fabric. But as I pulled this out, I decided it needs to get finished. So I decided to put it back into my list of whips. And so I put it on my wheel, and my wheel just told me that this is what I'm going to be stitching. So I'm going to be stitching Beautiful Sea by Ship's Manor. Just so you know, this fabric is Brown Sugar by Under the Sea Fabrics. I think it's 32 count. Okay, so like I said, I am really happy. I'm actually kind of excited to work on this. It has been 2 years at least, 2.5 maybe, since I've stitched this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to work on filling in down here and then just work to see how much I can get done. It'd be kind of cool to be able to, I don't think it'll take too much to finish. This is about the halfway mark through the whole piece, so I'm just under halfway finished. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to be working on this week. That's kind of exciting. Okay, I have one other thing that I want to do before I finish. I am really close to getting to 4,000 subscribers, and I am planning on coming up with a giveaway that would be appropriate for a 4,000 subscriber giveaway. And I thought that I would do a little bit of a giveaway today, just as kind of a warm-up to that. So I have 4 charts by Lori Holt that I am going to give away. They are, this is stitch cards. Basically, these are 4 small designs that are like in postcards. So, and you can see those 4 designs on the front: the tulip, the little chick, and the quilt, and the basket. Then I have this chart: eat, sleep, stitch, repeat. So she did, and Happy Camper. So if you would like to receive these charts, all you need to do is in the comments below, use the word, since this is the most recent chart I've received from them, use the word camping. And if you use the word camping in the comments below, I will enter you into the drawing, and we will choose a winner by next week. So next week I will announce a winner. So feel free to comment below with camping in your comments if you would like one of these charts. Okay, so that is all that I have. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Feel free to, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel. And so that you get notification whenever I post a new video. You can always like this video, and if you have any other comments, any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm always glad to respond to your questions. As always, thank you for spending time with me. If you want to follow my day-to-day progress and see how I'm doing with Beautiful Sea, you can follow me on Instagram. My name is @blitstitch on Instagram. And thank you I hope that you have a great week, and we will talk to you later. Goodbye.